Welcome to a new episode and a new season of After School with Mr. Van Huss. Today I'm sitting down with three of my friends from Canada named Bobby, Brittany, and Kyla. Now they have got some of the coolest harmonies you will ever hear and put on an incredible live show. They've been touring all over the United States and Canada all summer. They're nice enough to sit down with me today. Please welcome my friends, the Heels. Welcome to After School with Mr. Van Huss. Today I'm here with my friends, the Heels. Ladies, how are you?
Great.
So you guys have been touring all over the United States, all over Canada. I think you just got back from a Canadian trip. Is there anywhere you haven't been this summer?
Well, no, we pretty much, Europe. We
Yeah,
haven't been to Europe
Yeah.
or Australia.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Two places.
Yes.
I saw that you guys just got back from Canada and you're all originally from Canada, correct?
Yeah, the West Coast.
Okay. So tell me a little bit, how did the Heels come together? I'll let you guys just sort of introduce yourself and just kind of give me your origin story a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So I have some restaurants in Vancouver, Canada. Brittany was a barista working with me there, and then Bobby was a customer. We decided after hours to start singing and writing music, and then people started coming around and we're like, wow, maybe we have something here. And so we just kept going, and now it's been almost 10 years together, and we have hundreds and hundreds of songs, videos.
Yeah, and we got together because we just wanted to feel good. So we were just creating to bring out some joy, and then that's where the name The Heels came from.
Very cool. So I met you guys this summer at the CMA Spotlight stage, which I usually do like the stage managing gig for. And as soon as I heard you all, like your harmonies just caught my attention immediately because they were just incredible. And you got such an energetic live show. And it just, you were one of those acts that I could tell you just captured the audience just the second y'all got on stage. And caught my attention fast because I remember that day talking to y'all and telling y'all that you were probably one of the best acts I'd seen this whole summer there at CMA Fest. Now, was this your first CMA ever this summer?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So it's your CMA debut, and I'd say you'll probably be back on bigger and bigger stages as time goes on. So,
Yeah.
So what influenced you guys to do what you do? Like before you got into singing and touring and writing songs, was there somebody that was like a hero in your field or somebody that stood out to you?
Well, I feel like we all started just like we kind of were just born into the world wanting to be performers and entertaining people and singing. And we all kind of have that same story, which really drew us together because we really recognize that like little like inner child inside of each other as like a really similar upbringing. And when we got together, I feel like we all were singing solo projects, and we just we were managing different businesses. And I think the world can kind of tell you when you have a passion that maybe that isn't really going to be your job. Like you have to have your job and then your passion. But we were managing these businesses and we thought, well, if we have these, mindsets of, really moving forward and working towards goals in our work life, why can't we apply that to something that we're really passionate about? And we had these great teams that we were working with. And then we thought, okay, well, what if we could apply that to music? Like, what if we could all join forces and like really do this? Because I think we'd all gone through life where, you go through ups and downs of going for your goals, and then you get like a little bit of a setback and you get a little bit heartbroken, and it's hard to kind of pick yourself back up. And so we just kind of looked at each other and we're like, let's really do this, and to have a support system together. And I think that was really inspired by just kind of going through life and working with other people. And like, I always worked with women. I worked in a cosmetic industry before I joined in the band. And I sang. And then everyone tells you get a real job, you have to have your work. So I had my real job in business and cosmetics. And then we thought, what if we just applied what we do at work, but like with this business? And so I think for us, we love the music and we love writing and we love that whole creative side of it. But what the learning curve for us has been is taking those business kind of assets that we all have because Kyla's a business owner and Brittany was an entrepreneur with her own makeup artistry business. And so it was like taking all of those skills that we had learned from our real world jobs and then applying them to our passion and then just like staying motivated with each other. Because we definitely all have that fire in us. And then it's that group camaraderie where we kind of can move through the ups and downs and like pick each other up and keep motivating each other through hard times. And so, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what's inspiring, is just being inspired by like any women that are just like doing their thing.
Yeah.
Very good. So what was high school like for you guys? Were you into music in high school, or did you play sports or anything like that?
I graduated with extra credits because I did so much musical theater after hours. So basically grade 12, I had one class left. So I was pretty lucky.
I just honestly didn't like high school at all. I didn't go. I introverted myself and didn't have many friends in high school. All my friends were older. So I did a lot of music before high school and then a lot after, because I don't know, high school was scary for me.
I did choir. I loved choir and yeah, I liked high school, but I wasn't doing too much in school. I felt like anytime I got a lot of attention, like in the newspaper, or sometimes there was like I'd be nervous to go to school the next day because there was people that would, like yell things out. Country music wasn't the coolest when I was in school. So to be a country singer, people would be like, I don't know. They'd be like, "Don't rock the jukebox," and like yelling, like, things at me when I would walk down the hall. And so anytime I had like a big show, it was this contrast of emotions, because you'd feel so good and your mom would be like, "Look, you're in the paper." And then you'd be like, "Oh no," when Monday came. So what a time.
Yeah. So all of us.
I used to get that a lot. I always like for my high school students to hear like kind of different perspectives on what high school was like for different people. I graduated in '96 and I was a huge country music fan. And like you said, that was not the cool thing to be into all the time, especially like right there, even though it was booming right then with like Garth and Alan Jackson and George Strait and Shania and all that stuff. But I used to like always walk around before I moved to Nashville. I would walk around in like, cowboy hat and the old Western shirts and stuff. And it's like, I was a goof, and I understand now. It was like, did you guys have any like favorite teachers or anybody along the way, or maybe like a choral director or anything like that kind of pushed you to pursue your dream or anything like that?
I had my drama teacher, Mr. Anderson. He inspired me so much. And anytime I felt like I couldn't do something, like I wanted to be Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, and then I didn't think I could. So then he was like, "Well, why don't you just be the lion instead?" And then he pushed me to do that. And so I could still be a part of it instead of feeling isolated or like I couldn't fit in or so he was really much like he influenced my entire life in the industry. And I cannot believe how he's affected generations after. Even to this day, the theater crowd in that school is still booming. And he's left and retired 10 years later. So teachers matter so much. And my other singing teacher, Andrea Bertram, she also really inspired me on an operatic level, and helped me find my voice because I didn't even know that I could sing like that. So I think finding the right teachers is so important. And if you don't feel comfortable with a teacher, or like they can bring out the best in you, then you can either voice that or you can keep hunting for the right teacher, because there's a lot of amazing teachers out there.
Cool. What about you guys? Did you have anybody that stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I had a choir teacher, Mrs. Roberts, and I loved choir. And for me, I always sang everything by ear. So she was really great at kind of pushing me to try to expand on like my natural abilities and, read music and sight sing from sheet music. And so she was really good at challenging me. And then also, letting me shine with solos and different things to kind of help me find a group of people at school that maybe celebrated my voice instead of made fun of me because of my country music love. And so yeah, there was that. And then, yeah, I guess like for me, the teachers that I had in school, I went to a very small elementary school, so there wasn't very many kids in the class. And so they were just so important in our lives. Like when we'd see them outside of school, you'd be like, wow, it was like seeing a celebrity when you'd see your teacher at the grocery store. There she is.
Outside of their natural habitat.
Yeah. What's she doing? What's she eating?
I remember when I first became a teacher and the first time I walked into a place and, people were like, Mr. Van Huss, and they were going crazy. It's like, wow, this is what the Beatles felt like, You're just getting
Yeah,
like, going into places.
exactly.
Like, it's got to be the exact same.
That's
I know you said you weren't a big fan of high school, but, did you have anybody that kind of got to you?
Yeah, well, I did do like outside of school, I did like vocal ensemble groups and things. So, and I had a friend from high school that did it with me. So, and some other girls from like different high schools. And actually the vocal teacher that we were working with, I had been working with since I was like 7 years old. She was from the little island that I grew up on, and then she moved into the big city where I went to high school. So that was cool. That was comfortable and fun for me. It was just extra add-on.
So do you see any differences in in the music industry between the United States and Canada, or like just touring and things like that? Is it all pretty much the same? Or I know I was talking last year to an artist from Australia, and they were talking about just the differences in, like, if you're in the US, there's so many different places to play, and Australia, it's all spread apart.
Yeah.
Is there anything like that between Canada and the United States?
I feel like Nashville in itself has more venues than all of Canada.
That's probably true, especially in country music in Canada. Like,
Yeah.
it's very spread out. Our seasons are very, like, our overall in Canada, it's very cold. So our festival season's very short,
Mhm.
and there's just way less people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we also find that, like, because there's more people here, when you do perform at a show, the reception and the people that, want to support you and purchase merchandise, like everything's a lot
Mhm.
more successful, I guess, because there's just more people. There's more people to support you and spread the word. So
Connect with.
yeah.
I think it just comes down to the amount of people that you
Yeah,
can connect with.
for sure.
Gotcha. So
There's
this
a
would
little,
be a tough one, but out of everywhere you have played, do you have like a favorite venue that has stood out over the years that you just really remember, or you enjoyed a lot?
yeah, we played the
The
Opry.
Grand Ole Opry
Yeah.
was amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was probably the best. The sound was just, wow, you feel it inside your body. It was
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a special feeling, I think, for anybody to get to like stand in that circle.
Yes.
That so many people have kind of gone through, and so many people have stood there and done what they love to do. I think that's definitely special for anybody. I know
Yeah.
I had when I was doing music business full time when I was younger, I had the opportunity to like watch a couple of shows from like backstage at the Opry, and even just watching from backstage, like it stuck with me forever, because it's just such a cool feeling standing there and looking out at that crowd from that point of view. It's
Oh,
very
yeah.
So on this interview show, you've got the ear of some high school kids. What is one life lesson that you think you have learned that you would pass on to like people in high school or college at this point in time?
I would say don't take anything personally was like the hardest but most meaningful lesson that I've ever learned in my life. And if I, could have kept that, what would you like when I was younger, if you had have like all my book reports was I'm going to be famous. And then somewhere along the way, somebody else's opinions sort of dimmed that that light that I had in myself, that belief, and I sort of retreated into this sort of person that was really nervous to shine. And so I just think, there's kids can be so mean, and your parents will tell you that, they're just jealous of you, or they haven't found what they like to do. So that's why they're upset that you found what you like to do. And to just really listen to those things, because at the time you think your parents are wrong, and you're like, no, they're mean, and there's something wrong with me, but your parents are right.
Yeah. I think for me it was have the courage. It's funny because I played the lion, which the lion needed courage, and I was like, wow, this is very suitable. And I just think that is it, what it is for life, is have the courage to face your fears. And if you get knocked down, just get back up again and just keep trying and be really, really determined and never give up.
Yeah, and for me, I remember a girl that I really looked up to who was like not in high school anymore. She was older, but she told me that like when you're graduated and out of high school, like none of those things matter anymore. Like the things like the mean people and stuff, like it's just not even a thing anymore when you're outside of school. Doesn't mean it doesn't affect you emotionally still, but just hearing her perspective that like just don't worry about it because it doesn't mean anything after, got me through a lot. So
that is all excellent advice that I hope all my students listening to will take that to heart, because that is all very, very well said. I can't thank you guys enough for sitting down and talking to me today. I'm going to try to get this posted later today, and I know you guys are playing a gig just about 5 or 6 miles away from my school on Friday at Puckett's in Hendersonville. And our school here is right on the border of Gallatin and Hendersonville. So you're going to be just a couple of miles down the road. So if anybody doesn't have anything to do on Friday night, head out to Puckett's. What time are you guys going to be there? Is it 8-ish?
I think so. Every Puckett's we play, they all have a different start time. So to me,
Gotcha.
I'd have to check, but we do
7:30.
post about it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we will post, you know, a
A
couple.
little bit after dinner.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, it's usually
somewhere right
just
there.
after dinner.
And everybody, please make sure you follow the Hills on social media. Check them out wherever you stream music, wherever you buy music. These girls are super, super talented, and I have the utmost respect for you guys. And I greatly hope our paths will cross again sometime soon, because I definitely want to check out another live show very soon, because you guys are great.
Oh, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
We hope our paths cross too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being on After School with Mr. Van Huss, and thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Have a good day.
Bye.